So I was raised in the Presbyterian Church in the 1980s in North Florida, which I would consider the South. So I was around a lot of evangelicals. I even tried to be one for a little while in my 20s, but I couldn't cut it. I think because I was reading too much Anthony DeMello and Eckhart Tolle. But there's one concept that I want to talk about today because I think it would have been really helpful for me to hear this interpretation of it when I was in that religious paradigm. And that concept is the God-shaped hole. The idea is there's a God-shaped hole inside of each of us that we try to fill with things like money or success or status or relationships, but that ultimately it can only be filled by God. I think a lot of people know and resonate with this concept because it's easy to. I certainly did. There was actually something physically that I could feel in my body. It was in my belly that I sensed that this is the root, this is the cause of my suffering, and there was a sense with it that something was missing. So when I got the context from the church, I thought, okay, well, this is the God-shaped hole. So I set out trying to fill it. But in the church, it's a little challenging to do that because they just don't give you a lot to go on, right? They say, believe this or accept this, and that'll take care of it. That'll fill the hole. But for me, it never did. And so I just kind of got more confused. What I wish somebody had known and said to me at the time is this: Dan, you don't have to build a religious narrative around that contraction in your belly. You can call it what it is. It's the repression of buried emotions, and it's been there since you were a kid. It is the root of suffering, and it feels like there's something missing in you because there is. It's the emotion that in childhood you excluded from your consciousness because it was too scary to deal with. In my case, that was anger. And so if we're going to use the religious language, I didn't fill the God-shaped hole until 10 years after I left the church and I came out of emotional repression. Anthony DeMello said, some people have to lose God to find God, and I think I was one of those people. If you feel like you are too, visit repressiontest.com.